everyone. Today I will tell you how to use our FTIR system for measuring infrared spectra. The first thing, the computer typically is on. Make sure that it's on and then click this icon, Spectrum. This is the software which will allow you to get the spectrum. There is no password, just click OK. And here you can cancel this and you will see this window. This is the control window which you will need to get any data. We will scan the background and then scan the sample. So but before we start, let's prepare the spectrometer. So you will be using this spectrometer. Make sure that it's on. The easiest way to recognize it is that this diode is on. If the system is off, you need to turn it on. There is a main switch here close to the main to the power cable. This is typically the status which you will find when you start the measurement. So you need to move this screw up, which will allow you to remove this cover. This is just a cover for the protection. You need to remove it. Then you will see this, and you want to make sure that you clean this area with alcohol. To do this, open this screw. There is a ring here, the black ring, which can be unscrewed. And then you will see this plate here. The plate has a hole and a Teflon insert. So make sure that you clean this one, and then also, what's even more important, make sure that you clean the crystal which is in the center here. For cleaning you will need some tissue and alcohol. I have isopropanol here, which is good, but you can use ethanol if you don't find it, methanol. That's all should be fine. Don't use acetone. We just put alcohol and just wipe this area. And actually you should clean both the crystal, which is here on this at the bottom area, as well as this tip. Also make sure that you clean this area, this Teflon insert. So make sure that everything is dry and clean. When you think you have it ready, just place it back here and then tighten it with this black ring. You can hold with your finger the metal plate and just tighten it. Now for the measurement you need to bring this screw completely to the crystal. So turn clockwise to the moment when you feel this clicking. Then you know the pressure applied is correct. Once your spectrometer is ready, the crystal is clean and you are ready to take the background spectrum, go to the instrument menu, select scan background, and now here you have a number of parameters which you can change. So we'll use the single beam mode. You can put whatever description you want. We can put ABC right now. Now this is the maximum range in which you can measure it, from 4,000 to 400 centimeters. You can use this whole range. However, between 400 and 600 the signal is very low and you will have a lot of noise, so just pay attention to this. Now here you can also change the number of scans. More scans, better signal to noise, but we can maybe reduce it to 5. And also you can select the resolution. You can go from very low resolution like or high number, which is 64, to very small. We can do it at the default setting, which is 4, and the same you can change the interval. This 0.5 seems to be okay. So once you have everything selected, just click OK and wait for 5 scans until they are finished. It will probably take a minute or less. So this is your background scan. Now we are ready to measure our sample. We have to go back to our spectrometer, load the sample, and then measure it using this background scan. Once you measured your background scan, have your actual sample, you need to have a spatula, your sample, ethanol, and then unscrew this screw again, and you need to put a little bit of your powder sample here on top of the crystal, really. So make sure that you clean your spatula. And now you are ready to take a little bit of your sample. You don't need to put a lot, just enough to cover the crystal. I think it's okay. Once your sample is already on the crystal, tighten this screw again to the point where you feel the clicking. To measure your sample, go now to the instrument menu and scan sample. Okay. Enter the file name, let's say our powder, test powder. Select the ratio method, which will use our background scan, which we just acquired. Have all the parameters the same, otherwise there will be a mismatch between your background and your sample scan. So you have to use the same parameters as you use for the background acquisition, and then just click OK. And again, it will probably take less than a minute. So now we have two spectra. The black one is our background. It has a lot of structure, mostly due to water vapor in atmosphere. And the second, the blue one, is the spectrum from the sample, but divided by the background. That's why it looks almost like a flat line. However, there is a structure, but you need to zoom in or expand the y-axis to see it. So to do this, you use these tools here: expand, contract. So this one expands the structure, and you can move up and down using these cursors. So just make sure that you expand this to see how is your spectrum looking. And so you see it's not a fully flat line, and of course for some samples you will have much more features and they will be stronger. In this case, for this sample we just have this one. To save the data, just select, you have now two spectra, either your background spectrum or your sample spectrum. So let's go to sample spectrum, go to the file menu and save as. The standard format is sp.sp, which is spectra, the format which will be recognized by this software. Always save it this way. I have created a test folder. We can save it here and say this is our test powders spectrum 1. Also, I recommend that you save it in another format. So go again to Save As menu and select from the list of types, select one which is this ASCII format. This is a text format which will allow you to open this file using any text editor or notepad. So select ASCII and then you can use the same name. If you use this one, And if you go to your file, we can go and check how this look like. So let's go to our computer. Disk C. This everything is stored in this PEIL underscore data. We have our spectra folder, and here there should be the test folder. So if you double click, it will open the spectrum. But we want to take a look at this ASCII file, test powder ASCII file, and let's use Notepad to open. So you will see this is a readable file which gives you XY columns of your data. So you can replot it using Excel or any other data analysis software. After you measured your samples, make sure that you clean the system. For this, unscrew this screw again. Unscrew this black ring here. Take this and again use alcohol. Depending on your sample, you may either discard the tissues and the remaining of your samples, or you may have to store it and dispose it properly if it's toxic or presents any other hazard. This sample is inert, so I don't need to worry about these issues, but you have to decide, and you have to know what's your sample, whether it presents any risks. So make sure that you clean the crystal nicely. And also this metal tip. After this, reposition this metal plate back on the top of this chamber, tighten it with the black ring, and put the cover on top of it and press it. This leaves the system for the next use. So I showed you the basic operation of the system. If you run into any issues, find me in room 010 or send me an email.